We're finally at the last video in the playlist, and if you've got children over 11 years of age, it is an incredibly important video. If your children are younger, it's not so important because your choices are far simpler. However, there is information later on in the video on how to download some free training on how to set up Dyslexics for academic success. And it's never too early to set students up for success, so keep on watching. Finally, I want to talk about what students are struggling the most with. And as I've mentioned already, there are so many different solutions that you could use with any individual student. And if that student is already struggling just to keep their head above the water at school, if you then come to them and say, oh, I've got the solution to all your problems, you've got to try this solution or use this technology or download this app, you'll very easily overwhelm that student, and you could get them just to completely switch off and not want to use technology at all. So how I work with older students is I normally listen to them and really try to understand what is the thing that's causing them the most pain. And if we could change that, it would help them be happier at school, maybe get higher marks. What would it be? And I then locate the area where I think, right, I'm going to find a solution that is suitable for your specific needs in that area. To be honest, I think this will make a lot more sense if I give you some concrete examples. Now, I started off by saying if you've got primary age students, say students under 10, then I would absolutely concentrate on using technology to help them learn to read and to encourage them to read more, ideally reading for pleasure and developing a love of reading. But for secondary age students, for students in further and higher education, chances are they need help with more than one of these areas. So in talking to them, I work out which is the area where they need help the most. So for example, I might have a student come to me who finds reading easy, who finds writing easy, quite good at learning, but they're very, very disorganized. Now, if that's the case, I will concentrate with them on technology that will help them get organized. So I might use trackers to find things, apps on their phone to remind them, and even smartwatches are very good when people are disorganized. Alternatively, if I find a student who is really overwhelmed with the amount of reading they have to do on their course, I would introduce them to text-to-speech and electronic textbooks that will read for them. And this can make a huge difference to their achievement. Another student might really struggle taking notes in class, and so we would concentrate on the best solution to help them take meaningful notes that they can utilize afterward. And obviously, to make that decision, I would take into consideration all the things that I've talked about in this playlist: the willingness of the student to use it, their specific needs, their budget, what they already own. So all those things are taken into consideration, and I find the best solution to help them. And this is really important because the biggest barrier to success in students utilizing technology to do better academically is a lack of their own self-belief and them being so overwhelmed with what they're doing that they just don't have the headspace to take on new technology or new ways of working. And so we need to give them very, very easy wins. And once they've seen that their grades are improving and it wasn't that hard, then they are more willing to adopt technology in other areas. So I find it's a very iterative process in getting older students to adapt technology. But with younger students, if you get them using it early, before peer pressure gets much more influential and before the workload increases, then you find that they easily just, oh yeah, I'll take on technology to read to learn, and oh, that's helpful to take notes, and it comes along in a far more natural progression as they get older. But when you're getting older students to try and adopt technology, it's much more challenging. I don't want this video to go on forever, but I just briefly want to show you 3 resources that can help students with self-esteem. The first one is some free training that you can download all about setting up dyslexics for academic success. There is a link in the details below that will bring you to this page. And all you have to do is to put in your email address, your first name, click email, and then click submit, and you will be sent an email with a link to the training material. Something that I've used very successfully with the students in my after school clubs are videos. Sometimes we can tell students that they're bright till we're blue in the face and they just do not listen to us. But somehow watching a video helps. And because of that, I've set up 2 different resources. Here on my website, I have a resource which is called Encouraging Videos. And what I've done here is I've put links to the videos, but I've also explained who I've found them helpful for in the past. And also, on the YouTube channel itself, I have a playlist called Encouraging Videos for Dyslexics. So you can actually go in and watch them all here, and I'm certain I will be adding to this. And if you have any encouraging videos you would recommend, please let me know. But this might be helpful as it has all the same videos, but it just gives you a little bit more information, which I hope you'll find helpful. I do hope you found this video useful. Please share it with anyone you know who could benefit. I'd be very grateful if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, as doing so really helps others find this information. If you hit the bell button once you've subscribed, you'll be notified when I create new videos. I've produced some comprehensive free resources to help dyslexics achieve. Details on how to download them are below. Let's work together to help all learners achieve.